Hey there, and welcome to Comfy Cat Yoga. Today we're going to be starting a new series just to start getting into our practice of yoga. If you're a beginner, this is a great series for you. Or if you've been away from your mat for a little bit, then this is also an excellent series for you. Over the next 30 days, we're going to be working on improving our mobility, improving flexibility, and following some really nice, gentle Hatha flows that will help build muscles that you might need during more advanced practices, and just really get your body feeling rejuvenated and energized every day. So today's class is going to focus on just getting ready for the day and tackling it with positivity in mind and feeling nice and energized in our body, feeling like we can take on the world. My name is Phoenix, and I will be leading us through our practice today. So we're going to start here on a nice, comfortable, seated position. I like to have a blanket just because I practice on a hardwood surface and my mat is not very thick. You don't have to have a blanket if you would not like to use one, but I always encourage it, especially if you have like sensitive knees or especially prominent bones in your ankles. It's just always good to have. So starting here in this comfortable seated position, you can have your legs crossed. Maybe you can have them out a little bit since this might not feel comfortable to everybody's body. And we're going to focus on rolling those shoulders back, getting the crown of the head nice and tall, imagining a string holding us up nice and high to the ceiling. You can rest your palms on your knees, maybe have them face up, or resting in your lap, just bringing your attention to your breathing. We're just going to breathe normally here. During this practice, I encourage you to listen to your body's cues. If anything is starting to pinch or is painful, please don't continue the movement. Reduce the stress and come to a resting position like child's pose or Tadasana. You can soften the gaze or close the eyes, focusing fully on your breath, focusing on our practice and giving ourselves space. To improve our connection here, we're going to rest one hand on our stomach and one hand on our chest, feeling our heartbeat and our breath working together here. Try to make your inhales and exhales nice and long, about the same length as each other. I usually like my inhales and exhales about 4 seconds and 4 seconds each. You can even hold it at the top for a couple seconds before letting it out, feeling the difference there. Once you feel grounded, if you've closed your eyes, go ahead and flutter them open. We're going to come to a tabletop position here. This is a good spot to use a blanket if you have it. If you are using a blanket, I encourage you to use one that is made of cotton and not a minky fabric, since minky fabrics can tend to make you slide around a little bit. So we're going to stack the shoulders over the wrists. We're going to stack the hips over the knees. We're going to keep the backs of the feet nice and flat against the mat. And come into our breathing here in tabletop. Try to keep this pattern of breathing for our entire practice today. A lot of the times, especially if you're new to the practice, you'll find yourself holding your breath or making your inhales really short and your exhales really long, or vice versa. Moving into some cat-cows, we're going to inhale, dropping the navel towards the mat, bringing the gaze up. Inhaling fully here, and then exhaling, we're going to curl the spine, trying to keep our arms where they're at. Trying to connect the sternum to the pelvis here. Inhale, dropping the navel. Exhale, curling the spine. Almost like you're trying to squeeze the breath out of your body. Follow your own breath here. Whatever your natural breath is, it's perfect for this. Really feel that spine waking up. Wherever you are, we're going to do it one more time. Coming to a neutral tabletop on your next exhale. Amazing. Great job. We're going to send our left hand out here. We're going to thread it through that other arm, resting the side of our head onto our mat. And a little thread the needle here. You can go further under your arm if you'd like more of a twist. Remember to breathe normally here. Hatha flows tend to hold poses for a little bit longer than Vinyasa flows. Vinyasa will follow the breath more often than not. And Hatha flows usually hold poses for about 30 seconds, all the way up to 120 seconds. But usually the long holds are reserved for the end of the practice. Go ahead and come back up, coming back to our tabletop, realigning yourself if you've become misaligned. We're going to send that right arm out and thread it through, resting the other side of our head on the mat. Remember to breathe normally. We're not holding our breath here. It might feel a little weird trying to breathe in a twisted position like this. But you're doing great. Listen to your body. Come back up to that tabletop position. And we're going to widen the stance of our knees, bringing them to about the sides of the mat here. We're going to send the hips back, straightening the arms, dropping the chest to the mat, maybe resting our chin or our forehead on the mat, and breathing here. This is one of our resting poses, so if at any point during any of our practices you feel a little overwhelmed, you can always come back to this pose. Great job. We're going to ascend the weight forward, bringing the knees under us. The backs of our feet should be nice and flat against the mat here. Bringing the wrists under the shoulders, pushing through the palms, bringing the shoulders away from the ears into our Cobra. If this is a little too hard for you, you can also do a Sphinx, where you're coming onto your forearms, using your fingertips to pull the chest forward, and breathe here instead. Once again, if any of these poses become too much, you're more than welcome to return to child's pose until you're ready to join us again. Breathe normally. Go ahead and curl the toes under, and we're going to send the hips up and back into our downward dog. If you're using a blanket, I'd invite you to move it, since this can cause you to slide around. We're going to try to straighten those back legs, but you can also keep a bend in them if you'd like to. Don't mind the ankles cracking. And we're going to push through the shoulders, trying to connect the chest to the tops of the thighs. Remember to breathe normally. Try to go a little deeper with each exhale. Go ahead and walk the feet forward to meet the hands. Coming into a forward fold, you can straighten the legs all the way if you'd like to. You can keep a bend in them, whatever feels good to you. We're going to grab the elbows, making sure that our torso is hanging nice and heavy here. You can also grab the back of the calves. If you're feeling super stretchy, you can rest your hands underneath your toes as well. Just eventually bringing the forehead to meet the calves. Remember to breathe normally. Letting that torso be heavy. You can also rest your fingertips on the mat if you'd like to. Go ahead and release the elbows. Let the fingertips hang limp. And then slowly, as slow as you can, we're going to curl the spine up, coming into our Tadasana, stacking one vertebrae on top of the other, till we're in a fully standing position. Wonderful job. Take a couple big breaths here. On your next inhale, we're going to bring the hands up and releasing the fingers, index fingers pointing up towards the sky. We're going to pick a side and we're going to lean towards it. I'm going to the right here in our crescent pose. You can pop that hip out if you'd like to, or just rely fully on that spine and your obliques to hold you up. Try to keep the arms engaged, not letting those arms just rest against the side of your face. Nice and engaged, chest open, chest forward. Remember to breathe normally. It's really easy to hold your breath here. On your next inhale, go ahead and come up. And on your next exhale, go to the other side. Remembering to stay engaged through the arms. Very good. On your next inhale, coming up, and on your exhale, let those arms fall to the sides. Maybe roll the shoulder, maybe roll the neck, whatever your body needs this morning. Excellent job. We're going to move into one more active pose here. Going to step towards the top of your mat. Mine is towards the side, so just wherever you are. We're going to bend the knees, trying to stack them about midpoint over our foot, maybe over our ankle. Either way works, just not hovering over the toes. Once you've found this squat position, you're going to inhale, bringing the arms up like you're holding a block above your head into a chair pose. Grounding through all 4 points of the feet, using your toes to grip the mat, and breathing normally. On your next exhale, go ahead and come up, back into Tadasana. Go ahead and roll the shoulders if you need to. Point and flex the toes if you need to. Whatever you need. Take a couple big deep breaths. Maybe letting them out through your mouth instead of the nose. We're going to go ahead and send the left foot back here, bending our front knee, stacking it over the ankle, whatever stance you need to be at. We're trying to make sure that our heels are about on the same line. It's the only thing that really matters here. Grounding through all 4 points of the feet on both feet, trying to bring our center of gravity down through the center here. Inhale, bringing the arms up. Torso should still be facing forward. Those shoulders should be away from the ears. Into our warrior one. Remember to breathe normally. Go ahead and let the arms come down and step the back foot forward, back into our Tadasana. Maybe flexing and pointing the feet, relieving some tension there before sending the right foot back this time. Finding that center line and whatever stance it needs to be at. to have that knee right above the ankle. Once you feel stable, inhaling, bringing the arms up, shoulders away from the ears, back into Warrior One on the other side. If at any point you get tired in these poses, you can always return to Tadasana, take a rest, and then rejoin us. Go ahead and exhale, letting the arms down and stepping that back foot forward. We're going to go ahead and inhale, kind of adopting a slight bend in the back before exhaling, forward folding, bringing the fingertips to the mat, and then slowly bending our knees, stepping the feet back into a plank. You can drop the knees here if you can't quite do a plank. Inhale, exhale, before dropping the knees, flattening the backs of the feet, back into our Cobra pose. Curling the toes under, we're going to send our weight back and then come into a laying down position, however you need to get there. Once you're here, go ahead and bend the right knee, grabbing it with the left hand and stretching it over to the left side of the body, bringing that other hand out to the side as some support, and a reclined twist. If you feel any pinching at all, reduce the amount of twist that you have in your spine. It should just feel like a nice stretch. No pain, just waking up the muscles gently today. On your next exhale, go ahead and untwist, letting that bent knee join the other straight on the mat. Then bending the left knee, grabbing it with the right hand and pulling it over to the right side of the body, sending that left hand out to the side to support us. Reclined twist on the other side here. On your next exhale, go ahead and untwist, straightening both legs, relaxing them on the mat, letting the arms come to the sides, palms facing up, nice and relaxed. Maybe closing our eyes or softening our gaze up towards the ceiling. Coming into Savasana, trying to relax the feet, the legs, the hips, the back, the shoulders, the arms, the hands, the neck, and the head, absorbing our practice this morning. Bringing your attention fully back to your breathing. You can stay in this position for as long as you'd like, but when you're ready, gently come up to a nice seated position. Maybe stretching the toes, wiggling the fingers, rolling onto your side maybe. Whatever feels good to you to wrap up our practice today. Thank you for letting me lead us through our practice today, and namaste. If you have any suggestions for future videos for this 30-day challenge, I would invite you to write them in the comments section. Let me know what you thought about this one, and I hope to see you tomorrow for day 2. Namaste, go with peace, and we'll see you later.